Hello and welcome again. In last lesson, I showed you the income tax pro forma. I also showed you what is personal allowance, and we looked at how to reduce the personal allowance. Personal allowance is the amount by which you don't have to pay tax. So it was 10,600 a year. Now, who is eligible for 10,600? All the individuals, but except for the ones who are earning much money. They are rich guys. And who are rich guys who are earning more than £100,000. What is that specific word, £100,000? What is that? Is it net income, adjusted net income, or what? Yeah, you're right, adjusted net income. How to calculate the adjusted net income? We took the net income before personal allowance and we deducted the personal pension contribution. Personal pension contribution is the amount which you put into the pension to make your own pension, right? So that was our points. Now the thing which you not know yet about the personal allowance is that you can transfer some of your personal allowance to your spouse as well. Say for example, if your earning is less than your personal allowance, so your personal allowance is wasted, right? But your wife's earning is more than personal allowance, but she is paying some tax as well. What you can do is you can transfer part of your personal allowance to your wife so that she can use your personal allowance in order to reduce her taxation, right? So that's how we do it. But there's a limit on the transfer of transfer of someone's personal allowance to your spouse, and that limit is 10% of your normal personal allowance. What was personal allowance? Personal allowance was 10,600. Now 10% of that is 1,060. Now for current year, which our current year, as I told you, is Finance Act 2015, and our year starts on 6th of April to 5th of April. So 6th of April 2015 to 5th of April 2016. For current year, personal allowance is 10,600 and transferable limit is 10% of it. That is transferable limit. And interesting thing is that these both figures will be given to you in the exam in the tax tables. And the word £100,000, the figure 100k, £100,000 is also given to you in the exam. So these are the things that you don't have to worry about or remember it, right? These are the things that are given to you in the exam. All right. Now the next topic which we are going to study now is called child benefit. The child benefit is an amount which is given by the HMRC to people to look after their kids if they are not earning much amount, right? So say for example, if a family is poor and they cannot look after their kids, what HMRC does is they give some amount to look after the kids, right? Because they care about the kids. So how they do it, they get in shape of child benefit, right? So that's what they call child benefit. Now who is eligible for this child benefit? People who are poor, as I said, are eligible for this child benefit. But the rich people are not eligible for this because they are rich already anyway, so they don't need any child benefit. But as you know, the human nature is very greedy. People who are more rich, they are still looking to get some child benefit as well. They are trying to abuse the law. So that's what the HMRC knows. So that's why they introduce something called child benefit charge. And now, whenever the word charge comes into the taxation, whether it is F6 or P6, whenever the word charge comes into your notes or the books, charge simply means a penalty, so which is paid on top of what you pay for taxation. So charge is not a tax, it is a penalty, right? So when your earning is enough and you are still getting a child benefit, then you will be charged child benefit charge, right? So what does HMRC say is that if your earning is £50,000 or more than that, and you are still getting the child benefit charge, if you are still getting the child benefit, then you will be charged to a child benefit charge. Now how much the charge will be? That's the interesting question, and now we will see what is the child benefit. So how to calculate the child benefit charge. Now what we need to do is that we need to see how much more are we earning than this threshold when we are calculating the child benefit charge. Say for example, if I am earning 5,000 more, 10,000 more, or 20,000 more, or how much, right? So HMRC says whatever you are earning more than that, whatever you are earning more than £50,000, you will have to see how much more are you earning and divide it by 100. So every 100 has got 1% charge. Every 100 more than this threshold. Our threshold is 50,000, right? Yeah, well, sorry, our threshold is £50,000. I might have written more than that, but it is £50,000. So our threshold is £50,000. If you're earning more than that, then whatever more than that, say for example, if I'm earning £55,000, then how much more I'm earning? I am earning 5,000 more. So if I deduct this one out of this one, it's 5,000. So I will need to divide it by 100. Whatever the answer is, it is 50. That is percent, right? So 50% is a child benefit charge. But what is 50%? 50% of what? 50% of this earning, or 50% of this, or what? 50% of child benefit. So say for example, I will put a question. If an individual has earnings of £57,000 and they are getting, that is earning, right? That is their salary. Say for example, their salary is £57,000 and they are getting the child benefit. They are still getting the child benefit, and the amount of child benefit they are getting is £6,000. Please tell me how much will be the child benefit charge. Please pause this video here and try to solve it in this way. So what I did here is, earning was £55,000. I have deducted this out of £50,000. This was the remaining, and I have divided it by 100, and then whatever the answer is, that is a percentage of child benefit charge. So we'll have to take percentage of child benefit charge. What is the percentage? This percentage. Please pause this video and try to solve this question. I hope you have done it. And now first step, as I said, is to deduct the threshold. What is threshold? £50,000. Whatever the answer is, £7,000, I will divide it by 100, because every 100 has got 1% of the charge. So the percentage here is 70%. And 70% of what? 70% of child benefit. So 70% of this comes to 4,200. If I'm not wrong, I assume 4,200 is the child benefit charge if someone who is earning £57,000 and still getting the benefit of £6,000. So that is the charge. That is 4,200 in child benefit charge. Now this individual, say for example, had earning of £57,000. Now please tell me total tax of this person, tax and the income tax charge. So total amount that they have to pay to HMRC. Please calculate that. Let's see how to calculate it. Salary is £57,000, isn't it? We'll have to deduct the 10,600 personal allowance, and whatever the answer is, that is the net. That is the amount that I have to pay tax on. That is the tax. That is the amount on which I have to pay tax. It is called taxable income. Now, whatever this answer is, I will have to pay tax on that, and we'll see how much the tax we have to pay. And whatever the tax is, I will not only have to pay tax on that, I will also have to pay tax child benefit charge as well, right? So these two things are we have to pay to HMRC, right? So that's it for this lecture. As far as this thing here is concerned, as I told you that this is the personal allowance and this is the transferable limit. This 1,060 is the transferable limit, which I can transfer to my wife and she can transfer to me if my earning or her earning is less than 10,600, in order to save tax overall family tax, right? I can transfer 1,600. Now this thing here, 1,060, it will not be added. It will not be added in this amount of someone. It will not be added into the transferee's personal allowance. However, this will be added. This will be deducted, from the tax reducers. So I will take 20% of it, whatever 20% is. I will have to deduct that amount, whatever it comes here. I will have to deduct from my final tax liability. Whatever my final amount that I'm going to pay to HMRC, I will have to deduct this amount out of that. So then I will pay to HMRC. But please remember, do not add this personal allowance to your normal personal allowance if you are transferee. Say for example, my wife has transferred her personal allowance 1,060, to my personal allowance, I will not add both of them and deduct where the normal personal allowance is deducted. I will just deduct the normal personal allowance where the normal personal allowance is deducted, and end of the calculation, when the tax liability comes, I will have to reduce my tax liability by this figure, right? And that's how to do this thing. Another thing is that a transferor who is transferring their personal allowance have to make the election. So they have to inform to HMRC that I am going to transfer my personal allowance, and they have to do by the crunch year, crunch date. So our year end for crunch sitting is 6 April 2016. So must inform to HMRC by 6th of April 2016. If they inform by this date, and then for crunch year, which is 15/16, for 15/16 this is the date to inform. Excuse me. So if they inform by the year end, by the tax year end, then the future in the future the 1060 personal allowance will be transferred to their other spouse in the future every year. However, if they do not do that by that date, then they must do by 5th of April 2020. If the first date is this one, if they do this date, then they will be every year after that. They will be every year after that. However, if they forgot to do that, or they did not do that, then they must do by this date, and they will only get crunch year, only for 15/16. So only this year will be transferred, 15/16, if they do this by this date. If they do by the crunch year date, then it will be done every year from that year. So your personal allowance will be transferred, whoever is the transferor, right? That's it for this lecture, I think, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Bye.